Hello and welcome back to Softwoods ASMR. And if you're new here, a very warm welcome to you as well. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. In 2026, I wish for you to experience peace and contentment, and of course, lots of opportunities for deep relaxation and good sleep. So tonight, I thought I would share what I've been reading lately. What I've been reading and listening to and watching over the holidays and into this new year. Starting with books. Starting with these books here. And we'll also look at my favorite albums of late, and a couple of films that I loved as well. But before I begin, I just wanted to say that I wish you could smell my house. I wish that the aromas of my home could make it to you through this video, because we just made some muffins, and we made pumpkin cinnamon maple muffins, and we used an oatmeal base, and instead of sugar we used maple syrup, which I think has a very bold and full-bodied sweetness, that it adds a sweet flavor that is a little more bold than plain old white sugar. And we just took them out of the oven. It smells so nice. I can't wait to have one after dinner. It's just before dinner time and it's completely dark. And there's also a lasagna in the oven now. So, wow, my house smells amazing. So yeah, I have indulged in all three: books, music, and film over the holidays. It has been a very relaxing time, I must say. A break after a very busy time in my life and in work. And I have treasured every moment of this little holiday. So let's begin with these books. I'm wearing this really big cozy sweater that I received about 2 years ago, and it was made in Ireland, and I don't know if you can tell in this light, but it's a forest green. It's so warm. Today it's like -10 out, and I had to go to the store, and for one, I always wear a big parka, and I just popped out with this huge sweater, leggings, boots. I wore a hat, and a long, thin ski vest, and I was warm because this sweater is amazing. Okay, so let's get to these books. I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. This book was written several years ago, but made a kind of comeback in recent years, in the last few years, because of Bookstagram and Book Talk. And so a lot of people have read it. Have you seen this? Have you read it? Did you like it? This is a work of speculative fiction. It is dark feminist. It's a dark feminist dystopian novel. It has a very desolate setting. It's a very bleak scenario. Who would want to read something like this? I mean, it is just that dark. And yet, the writing is so compelling. I couldn't help fall very quickly into the story and feel fully invested in the lives of the 39 imprisoned women, and just hoping for their survival. I could read a little bit from the back here. Let's see. I have to take off my glasses for this. Okay, so deep underground, 39 women live imprisoned in a cage, watched over by guards. The notion of time. Watched over by guards, the women have no memory of how they got there, no notion of time, and only a vague recollection of their lives before. As the burn of electric light merges day into night and the numberless years pass, a young girl, the 40th prisoner, sits alone and outcast in the corner. Soon, she will show herself to be the key to the others' escape and survival in the strange world that awaits them above ground. So, from the description, I don't know if I would actually pick this up, but it was well worth it because I really did love this. It has a very unusual setting, and there's no real sense of home, no sense of direction. These women have no sense of home or direction, place in the universe even, past or future. In a very nuanced way, though, I think this novel is allegorical and speaks about the position of women, more specifically women's health, I think mental and physical health, in relation to captivity, loneliness and isolation, survival, and community. It also explores existential concepts of freedom and determinism, the human condition, and the concept of time. I think there are some trigger warnings to be aware of. It's not an easy read, I can say that, in terms of the brutal situation of these women, that these women exist within. However, I would recommend this. We have, I think I'll show you this one next. This is Hour of the Stars. Is it The Hour of the Star? No, Hour of the Star by Clarice Lispector. And just look at the size of this. It's very short. I've wanted to read this for a very long time. It was on my TBR, my to be read list for quite some time. So I will read the back of this as well. Okay. Living in the slums of Rio and eking out a living as a typist, Macabea loves movies, Coca-Cola, and her philandering rat of a boyfriend. She would like to be like Marilyn Monroe, but she is ugly, underfed, sickly, and unloved. She has no future and no sense of who she is. For her, reality is too enormous to grasp, yet telling her story is the narrator, who tries to direct Macabea's fate, but comes to realize that for all her outward misery, she is inwardly free. Slyly subverting ideas of poverty, identity, love, and the art of writing itself, Clarice Lispector's audacious last novel is a haunting portrayal of innocence in a bad world. Again, sounds kind of dark, doesn't it? I think this one is quite experimental, especially for its time. And what I found most compelling about this is the writing style. The narrator really was self-reflexive and constantly bringing the attention back to himself. And this kind of kept underlining that we are reading a novel, and kind of brought us into the perspective of the position of the writer and what it is to be a writer, and the responsibility of the writer. More than that, I just really found this, did I already say, to be quite experimental. And so for that reason, I would recommend it to anyone looking to read something a little different. I think even though it's small, very slim novel, maybe it's a novella even. It's probably considered a novella. It's quite, I wouldn't say dense, but it's very involved. Like, you're really involved in the experience of reading this. So I have all these little flags here, because I do tend to annotate all my books. So, Hour of the Star. The next one, something a little different for me. Again, this has been on my to be read list for a while. And interestingly, it really made me think of another novel I read earlier last year by another Japanese author. The writing is quite simple, and yet you just cannot put this down. And what I really mean is, it's simple, yet I think the message in it is quite deep. It says something quite meaningful, and I think a lot of people would like this for that reason. It's about a girl who, I call her a girl because she starts out younger. I think she starts working in a convenience store when she is right out of high school or around that time, and continues on despite pressure from society and her parents to better herself, to rise up the ladder in business or in some career field. And she's quite content to work at this convenience store. And what unfolds is really, how would I put it? It was really moving, very moving, how it reveals what it would be like, what it is like to try to please everyone. Interestingly, and I don't love this book, but I think I love this book, but I don't love this book. However, I liked it a lot. And this is like the other extreme of this, in a way. It's about the work life and kind of the absurdity of work in Japan, the absurdity of why we work and what we work at, and productivity. I guess I'm just naming themes because it's been a while, but to look at this happiness in this role, in this simplicity of her life, and then to look at this is really interesting, I think, because it's another side to almost the same themes, or the same, like two different sides of a coin or something. So it says, the factory follows 3 workers at a sprawling industrial factory. Each worker focuses intently on the specific task they've been assigned. One shreds paper, one proofreads documents, and another studies the moss growing all over the expanse of grounds. But their lives slowly become governed by their work. Days take on a strange logic and momentum, and little by little, the margins of reality seem to be dissolving. Where does the factory end and the rest of the world begin? What's going on with the strange animals here? And after a while, it could be weeks or years, the 3 workers struggle to answer the basic question, what am I doing here? If you've read Kafka, or if you're familiar with existential philosophy, this really reminded me of some of the themes from those times. Just the absurdity of bureaucratic systems and power structures. And so maybe you can see why I would kind of think that this book here, The Factory, would be interesting to read after this one. So I highly recommend this, and this is slim enough. It's not a favorite book, but it is, I think, an important book. thought I would also talk about what I've been listening to, music-wise, and also what we've been watching lately. Where should I begin? I think I'll talk about music. I'm a huge music lover, as I've mentioned before. I'm also a musician. So I've always been really into music, and I've talked also before about showing I just turned on my iPad so I can show you some things. I've talked about showing my collections, like my vinyl and my CD collections and my cassette tape collections. So I keep thinking, like, how can I share that? Because my collections are really big. I'm not sure. I thought maybe I would do a role play, or maybe just do some favorites, some highlights, or do different videos, like one video, my CD collection, one video, my vinyl, one, my tapes. But anyway, I'm going to show a few things I've been listening to, and also an album. I have one vinyl to show you. I'm just going to show what I've been really into in the last few weeks, and kind of ongoing, really, for two of these. So if you are a fan of Florence and the Machine, have you heard her new album? I'm afraid to turn this toward the camera if it will be really bright. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's way too bright. Can I turn this down? Maybe I'll just show you the little corner here. Yes, this album, Everybody Scream. Everybody Scream. It is phenomenal. It is such a good album. It was released in 2025. I keep saying 2025. Do people say that, or do they just say 2025? So we have, how many songs on this? 16 songs. And they are fierce, I would say. Charged, powerful. But my favorite song on here is called Perfume and Milk. Okay, I just turned down the brightness, so hopefully this won't be too bad. So, my favorite song on this album is called Perfume and Milk. It is the 5th song on this. I love Buckle as well. It's very cute. One of the Greats is absolutely amazing, the 2nd song. But Perfume and Milk, I'm going to say, is like my theme song right now. It's my theme song for 2026, and I just listen to it a few times a day. I listen to this album, but I always go there a few times and love to sing along to it. And how do I describe it? I describe it as like a magical realism novel that is all vibes, all mood. You feel like you are in the woods when you are listening to it, and it is charged. I've never really heard anything like it. It is charged, and it is like one big crescendo. not getting louder and louder, but in terms of the mood and how it builds in momentum, you just feel like you start the song, you're here, and you're just moving through time and space. So, Milk, Perfume and Milk is a beauty. Someone else I've been listening to a lot is Aurora. So, let's see, an album I've been listening to. I love this one. It's older. 2016. I listened to this one a lot. I also listened to this one. And if it looks blurry, it's because that is a blurred image. This is from 2022. And it's considered indie pop. She's quite young. I think she's like 29, maybe, somewhere around there. And I just love her stage presence. I love her voice. She does a lot of choral work in her songs. So, these are, like I said, indie pop. I thought she would be considered alternative, but and maybe she is. Like, a lot of her songs could be considered alternative, I think. Maybe an alternative dance, electronic. She blends electronic with sometimes like a choral intro. Many beautiful layerings of her voice, like a choir, and you get this kind of ethereal feel in many of her songs. And then her melodies are sung up close to the mic, with that large room, that large like cathedral feeling behind her, with the many voices and harmonies. And then her voice is up close. The way that many singer-songwriters or folk artists even will sing right up close, or in production anyway. The voice is put forward and everything else behind. I just love her style. She's friends with Greta Thunberg, and I love her too. And I think she's like I think that Aurora is a really amazing person, and I know she's an activist as well. So I appreciate that a lot. The album I will show you now. The album and the artists I've been listening to is this Nick Drake. Do you know of Nick Drake? Nick Drake lived a very short life, and he was maybe almost unknown during the time he was alive. I think he died when he was only 26. And I think he died in the 70s. He was born, he's English, but where was he born? Like Burma, something like that. And he moved to England. I think his family was originally from England. And he is just a super talented, he was a super talented and innovative folk singer-songwriter. this was recorded around 1969. And I have another album by him called Pink Moon. This one, he kind of looks like Jim Morrison from The Doors in this, just in this picture. It's the back of it. And I'll just tell you that my favorite song on this album is called Riverman. It's the second song on side A. So it's folk. This particular song is in a minor key. It's very moving. It has strings in it, and I could go on and on describing the song and this Nick Drake's work. I think maybe I should someday just do a focused video on his work as a musician, his life. If you have not listened to Nick Drake, I highly recommend that you give it a try. And if you can, look for Riverman. What a beautiful song. I think, I could be wrong, but I think Pink Moon, the album, is maybe a little more well known than this one. So I wanted to talk about some of the films we've been watching, and I'll just say that two of them are starring a very favorite actor, and that actor is Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy, I'm sure you know who that is, but if you don't, where did this go? Here we go. That's him right there. You might know him from Peaky Blinders. He's wonderful in that series. That's not what I'm going to talk about. He's right there in Peaky Blinders. But what I am going to say is that I loved him in this movie, Small Things Like These, which is based on the book of the same title. It was a beautiful movie. I loved that. And the overview of the movie here says, in 1985, coal merchant Bill Furlong uncovers disturbing secrets in a small Irish town that's controlled by the Roman Catholic Church. Yeah, a little dark. There's a dark element, but very, very heartwarming in the end. Very heartwarming. And the other movie that we watched, and it, because this movie, Small Things Like These, is a 2024 film, and the one that we watched previously to this one, Breakfast is a much older film with Cillian Murphy, who stars in it. Where's a little synopsis? So yes, this one is 2005. It's a comedy drama film directed by Neil Jordan. Co-wrote with Patrick McCabe, and based on the novel of the same name. And let's find a quick overview of it. As a baby, Patrick, Cillian Murphy, is left by his mother on the steps of the rectory in their small Irish town. He's discovered by Father Liam, coincidentally his real father, and placed in an abusive foster home. By the time he's a teen, Patrick identifies himself as transgendered, renames himself Kitten, and sets out for London with a rock group in hopes of finding his mother. Again, this is at times heart-wrenching, at other times heartwarming. And his acting, Cillian Murphy's acting is phenomenal. It's amazing. I loved this movie. It's one of my favorites. I will definitely watch it again. And the film itself is really fun to watch. Like, the film structure is like it's told in little vignettes. So perhaps slightly experimental, and yeah, I recommend it. But it is perhaps it is something that you should check out in terms of its trigger warnings as well. It's called a comedy thriller, interestingly, but there are some rough scenes, like a little bit of violence. It's mostly, I would say, a drama. Okay. Another movie, something really light that I like to watch every year. I rewatch it all the time. I think it was made in 1998 or there around there. Is You've Got Mail with Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. And the setting is a bookstore that Meg Ryan's character owns. And it's a little indie bookstore. And meanwhile, there's a big box chain bookstore moving in across the street or nearby, and it's also about a budding relationship she's having with Tom Hanks, the character that he plays. And it's just such a cute holiday movie. Like, I always watch it on the holidays. And I think, like, if you like the Gilmore Girls, you would like this movie. I'm guessing most people have seen it. But if you haven't, and you like that sort of thing, you like books or movies that are set in bookstores, please check that one out. So, I'm really looking forward to making more videos this year in 2026. I have a few different microphones that I want to experiment with. I do actually happen to have them in my house, just kicking around. So I thought I should set them up. Right now I'm going to tilt this forward. I'm using a Blue Yeti, and I would like to try a couple of the other microphones, and I'm interested in purchasing one of those little like pin-on microphones, because it looks like some people who use them around here in ASMR, like some of the channels, when they use that microphone, everything sounds so crisp and clear, and I just love the sounds. So I'd like to try that as well. So I might make a video where I try different microphones, and we can kind of like vote on them for different sounds and different types of videos. Maybe it could be a little interactive. I also have some role plays coming